good group of people there.
Doesn't look like they can hear you.
You're good.
All right. So I'll call the October 8th Permanent Building Committee, Recal Building Committee meeting to order. Let's see, first. Order of business, I'll do a roll call attendance. Nancy Toomey.
Here.
John Coop. Yes. Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick.
Here.
Ari Greenberg.
Here.
Greg Stepler.
Here.
And Nancy Zimlack, I don't see.
In Ireland.
In Ireland, okay, good for her. All right, so Nancy's absent. And Pat Tompkins is here. Oh, like Nazaro. I'm here.
So, you know, it's all here.
Here, so he's avoiding getting volunteered. Perfect. So first item on the agenda is to review the previous meeting minutes. If anyone had any comments on those meeting minutes or had a chance to review them. We're all set. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes of the September 3rd, 2025 Permanent Building and Recal Committee meeting.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll go to the vote. Nancy Toomey,
Yes.
John Coop.
Yes.
Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes, motion passes. Moving on to some motions to approve. Peter, if you want to run through.
Sure.
Really all three of these.
Sure, I'm trying to log in so I can share my screen if that's appropriate. So,
Yeah, sure.
I'm a little behind on catching up to you, getting in, so. You know,
Oh, you just have to make sure that your computer's on mute. You're on mute on the Zoom and on your computer.
okay, let me share my screen. Sorry about this. Okay, so here I go. This. Why isn't she? Okay. Try it again. Thank you. Okay, folks, thank you. Sorry for that little struggle there. Let me share with you my structural pier proposals. So the first item on that agenda, if you don't mind, we don't have all the proposals that came in. So quickly to say, the design team is advancing the drawings. We're looking to probably put the drawings 100% draw, give or take, in December. at which time the drawings will go out to bid for the contractors in December. But prior to that, there's a requirement in the building code to have an independent structural peer review performed on the design. So, and that's a service that's performed by the owner or the awarding authority. So on behalf of the awarding authority, as your OPM, independently, I went out and I solicited independent structural peer engineering companies to provide proposals on the design. And we're using the 60% contract documents that BH+A has prepared, which came out about a week, 10 days ago. So I sent out solicitation letters to these. It's not coming up again. There you go. It's up. Oh, there you go. To those four firms right there, LeMessurier, WSP, which was O'Day, now it's WSP O'Day, Sousa True, and Lim Consultants. I've only received two. I got one today. I do have some numbers, but I'm not going to share them because it's still under public procurement. So ideally, I would have liked to have had four numbers today, bring a recommendation to the committee, so the committee could weigh in and make a vote. So then we could sign up that particular consulting firm to produce peer review on the drawings. So the comments, if any, could be incorporated back to BH+A in early November as they continue to produce the documents. I think it's going to have to wait until the November meeting, unfortunately, because this just kind of came in and two proposals did not arrive. So while the agenda was set thinking there would be a motion to approve, we're not there yet as at this time. So I'm going to reschedule this for the next meeting.
Okay, are we okay, from a schedule standpoint, will we be okay with reviewing and approving that at the November meeting?
Better today, it's gonna take them a good 2-3 weeks to get through the drawings. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe anybody's gonna beat Lim Associates on their price.
I guess what we could do as a consideration, now that we're thinking about this, I'm going to throw a number out. And it's maybe the finance committee can consider reviewing it, say in a week or 2 weeks between now and the next building committee meeting and make a recommendation. And maybe we establish a not to exceed value for the services by a peer review consultant.
Yeah, I would be okay with, we have the four consultants that we're soliciting proposals from.
Correct.
John would have the strongest opinion, but that what I know of all of them, they're all more than qualified to do the work we're asking them to do.
Yes.
We have to go through the public procurement process, which will be led by town staff, the chief procurement officer. So I'm okay if we establish and we have this in the budget somewhere. We establish some kind of amount and we authorize you to proceed with this process. And, you know, maybe authorize the financial review committee to approve. I'm fine with that. If anyone else has any thoughts, to keep things moving.
This is not a competitive bid in terms of money. It's the quality of the proposal.
Right.
But if we have a pot from which we can draw that money and a good proposal comes in within that, it's fine, yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sorry.
And Nancy, anyone want to try and craft a motion for that?
Well, let's see, so.
Do you have is there an amount that you're about to suggest, I think, an amount?
Well, what's in the budget?
What's in the budget?
Okay, let me go to the budget.
Good question.
Well, and I'll say there's a testing budget, but it includes many things. But let me go there first. Just give me a second. Here it comes. Whoops. Here we go. Sorry, this is a little delayed. Getting used to the use of this. So we have on row 125 right here, materials testing and inspectional services. We have $70,000. And I'm going to just confirm there's not another line item. Oh, I'm sorry, we did have another line item set aside, row 143. We had a value estimated within the budget of $15,000 for the structural peer review. So maybe we could use that as a not to exceed.
I think you should use just under that. Isn't 15 the threshold that you have to go to public bid in Reading? I'm not sure that number, but. Oh, maybe.
Jane on the call.
Yeah.
James, you know the answer to that number? It's under $15,000 to pay to proceed.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I just walked in my house where I will take this call remotely. What's the-
Thanks for joining. So there's a discussion, there's a structural peer review. We don't have
Yeah.
all of the quotes in place. There is a budget amount of $15,000. And the question came up, if it's a number that's below that 15,000 and it's gone through, TTH has
Yeah.
been soliciting, or do we have any procurement issues that we need to worry about, or are we okay?
No, under 15,000, it's just best business practices. So it's fine.
So
You're
Joel's
fine.
right. So it's gotta be under 15,000.
$14,999 would be, and 99 cents would be sufficient. Okay.
Right. That would be good. Keep it that way.
Thanks, Jane.
Yeah, it's fine. And he solicited quotes, so we're good up to, 100,000 or more than that. We're fine. So no worries.
Okay, so move to, have the finance committee approve the structural peer review. Right, structural peer review.
Well, they would not approve it.
Okay.
They would approve spending funds.
Okay, spending upwards of up to 15 and not to exceed $15,000 for a structural peer review. Yeah, please.
It's the finance committee of the permanent building.
Yes. Finance committee, building committee. Thank you. Whatever else I said.
Any discussion? Hearing none, go to a vote. Nancy,
Yes.
John Coot,
Yes.
Mark Doxer,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes, motion passes. Didn't miss anyone, did I? He's alternate.
Okay, I can just keep going if you'd like, Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
keep going to the,
Okay.
onto the invoices.
With respect to the invoices, I mean, we can wait till we get to that section called invoices. I just made a list
Okay.
of, if you'd like. So, and then if there's any permitting interfaces scenarios that we want to discuss, if any motions on that matter.
No motions, but I think it probably makes sense. I don't know if Jane wants to talk a little bit about the CPDC meeting the other night. Just quickly, CPDC passed both recal and pickleball. They granted us a waiver of 5 spaces. There were a couple of members that had some very good questions and prompted some thoughtful conversations that Joel and his team will take into consideration. But it was a good meeting the other night. Grateful that CPDC, approved everything for us. I don't know if anyone has anything to add to that. But that was a good milestone to get through.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll move down the agenda, just talk about item 4, which is the schedule. I'll click on that right here. So there's a schedule, and essentially we are going to highlight something. So I get our window to work. I'll just do it this way. I had this all set up too. I'll highlight it in yellow. This is pretty much where we are now on the project schedule that's highlighted in yellow. With respect, and we'll talk about the contractors pre-qualification subcommittee. There's some updates later in the agenda to speak more in depth about the activities of the pre-qualification since we last met. But essentially, this is where we are now, essentially, since September through December. I got that highlighted, which is the qualification of the contractors as shown here, various tasks, and then on to the construction documents. As mentioned, That's what I meant. Okay, yeah, and then on to the designer's construction document phase, which is the this seems a little odd, I'm sorry. Okay. I guess row 31 was supposed to be a 90%, not 60%. And then we get into, as you can see on row 33, when we're going to do the design review in the comment period of the 90%. So the design team BH+A issued the 60% documents on September 30th. And they were issued out to the committee with a link, and that's kind of a voluntary review, if they so choose to do that. The design team is scheduled to finish up the 90% design documents on October 31st, and they will be issuing on October 31st, which is later this month, at which time we'll take a couple of weeks to turn around and do the design review, as we've done with the committee, along with performing the cost estimates, and then preparing the documents at that point on into December for the 100% documents.
So the difference up there is where the three lines, 29, 30, and 31, where it says 60%, that's supposed to be the 90%, right? Is that right, Joel? And then the 90% documents on line 33 should be 100% documents.
Well, no, that can't be. 32 is 90% progress issue.
Let me go, hold on a second. I don't know why this is corrupt. I have a schedule in here that I did.
If I can just jump in, we have the 60% documents now. We just reviewed the DD set, and we just did a cost estimate for the DD set. In the contracts with TTH and BH+A, we have one more cost estimate that I think was listed in the contracts to be done at 60%. But where we just did the cost estimate on the design development, we think it would be best to do the next and last cost estimate at the end of October with the 90% document set. And anyone on the committee is welcome to review the documents and provide feedback to the design team. But we were thinking it would be better to sort of put in a concerted design review effort at the 90% documents. Because we're past reviewing things with commentary on room sizes and things like that. It's more technical details. And at a 60% level, I feel like when I'm reviewing the spec, when it's not done, I'm reviewing things that everybody knows aren't complete, and I'm pointing out things that are obvious. At the 90% level, I think our review would offer more value with a closer to completed set. When you look at something and see that it's not what it should be, at that point, it shouldn't be necessarily incomplete. So I think it has more value. So Peter, I think you just copy and pasted some lines and forgot to change 60 to 90, which is fine. It wouldn't be the first time I've done that. I've done that about 1 million times. So that's it's kind of from a workload and a design milestones upcoming. That's the big takeaway. So we have the 60% documents. You can look at those heading into the November meeting. We should have the 90% documents in hand, which will give us time in November to review those with the plan to be out to bid in the middle of December. Bids due middle of January. So our bid period will straddle the holidays. And then plus or minus a month from the bid to sort of executing the contractor and mobilizing to the site, puts us mobilizing to the site, contractor mobilizing to the site like late February, early March, which we think is a good time period. I always feel like that's a good time to bid. Contractors are kind of looking at their backlog for 2026 and thinking I need to pick up some work, and hopefully putting you know, fair, but competitive pricing on the project.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I apologize. I don't know why or how that schedule got fumbled, but
It's all good.
There it is.
you can see here on this email message, this is kind of the summary of what Patrick Chair just spoke about, excuse me. And I apologize for the schedule having that corrupted dates, but essentially, this is what we're doing on 3A. You can see the documents will be ready by the BH+A team on this October 31st. Then 2 weeks thereafter, reviews of cost estimates, then a reconciliation. And then as we move down, the design team finishes up the documents and we start to enter the bid phase, as you just mentioned, in mid-December thereabouts, with a goal of starting construction early February, something like that.
So,
We'll clean this up and get this back out.
so the 90% documents are going to be ready at the end of this month, is that right?
October 31st is the current time, target date, yes. We're looking for a 2-week review, turnaround period to get review comments and cost estimates completed, and then any comments back to the design team so they can review, respond, incorporate, and apply any applicable comments that are there at the same time with the peer review as well. Hopefully get all those comments in. So when they go into the next set, once the 100%, they have all the information the design team needs to make them a complete set ready for bid.
Early December, building committee meeting, which would be after comments and after a cost estimate, assuming everything is, there was no moments. You know, timeout, we'd have a meeting sort of in between that, be able to look at the estimates right before we go out to bid. So any final tweaks, like, do you want this to be an alternate, something like that? And it could shape up that November needs a second meeting. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That'll be a challenge because of Thanksgiving. But it sets up nice. Mark?
Couple of questions. One, the structural review, is that gonna be on the current 60% documents, or is that waiting for the 90, or does it matter? if it's structural?
Ideally at the 90, which is coming out in 2 weeks.
Well, he's at 90 now.
Oh, is
The
it
structural is at 90.
Oh, okay, very good.
They pushed to get it.
Yeah. So, we'll get an updated set of structurals from the design team and give them to the awarded structural peer review consultant to do their analysis.
So as soon as that's over, they'll start their
Exactly.
period. Probably dovetail to. Okay,
Exactly.
second question, I noticed the F, 3F.
Yes.
The review page turn with fire police DPW. What have they already seen? This isn't the first time they've seen it, right? They've been in the loop on things. This is more their review at this high level.
Can I talk?
Yeah. Oh, no, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
We had the interdepartmental meeting, and the thought was we should go have a final one to make sure everybody's still okay, and there haven't been any new thoughts before we go out to bid. And by doing that, we thought we could also get the permitting started with the town, that if we could submit the drawings to inspectional services, they could start their review. So when the contractor gets on board, they don't have to wait another 30 days to get the building permit. So that was the purpose of setting that up, to make sure everybody's on board, including building inspector.
Do we know, has the now not so new fire chief, is he up to speed? I think this was started probably when Greg Burns was the chief.
Yeah, Ryan has been keeping him up to speed, but I have not met with him, the new fire chief, no. So we will have to do that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
so regarding the fire chief, there was a conversation that was had over the summertime vis-a-vis code review, not just the required structural review, but also a review for fire suppression and a couple of other things. That was a request of fire department and the building department. At the time, we had a building inspector acting as acting building commissioner. We now have a new interim building commissioner. His request is consistent with this additional look at the code language for the review as well. And so I'm trying to find that set of emails over the summertime because we don't have enough code staff internally to do the lifting on these buildings. And there's two buildings. So we've requested this of Killam and of Recal. And we can handle this piece offline and see where the budget covers it. And talk offline, but it's not just the structural review that is required. It's the fire suppression systems and some of the other things that they're looking for. Again, if the committee is supportive of that effort and that
Yeah,
spend.
I think we've discussed it. I think it makes sense, and that would dovetail in with the 90% drawings being complete in
Okay.
October. At the end of October, with that peer review happening in November. So that is something we'll need to find the appropriate consultants for. And make sure we have the budget for it. Which I think
Yeah.
right now, it would come out of contingency. Do you know how I feel about taking things out of contingency?
I'm so sorry. I know exactly how you feel. And I can circle back with the chief and see if I know he wants it on Killam and also the BDA specs. So, and the master barks information. I'll send some more information, just get that back to you, Peter and Joel and Pat, so that we have that aligned. I'm digging up the email from July, so I've got some stuff to go on here. And I don't know, Peter, what was conveyed back to Mark Stafford or even Brian Ramadka. So, because it felt like it was an early conversation that happened a while ago. And so I was like, okay, we'll, make a note of it. And then now we're here. So
Okay, understood.
thank you.
Okay. Anything else? I think we're on schedule. Does anyone else have any comments for Peter on the schedule?
It doesn't keep jumping.
It's not jumping.
Should I
You
just
have to like,
stop share and go back in?
yeah, sometimes it is a little finicky.
Okay, I'll
And
just,
if you're having issues, I could always share it from my screen too.
okay, here we go. See what happens. Sorry, committee members, I have to go out and then back in. So that was the schedule. Let's go back up to the agenda. Items.
Budget's up next.
Budget's up next. Here's the budget. Scroll down. Oops. No change in the budget, just adding the invoices that there's one invoice for this evening to consider. So the budget remains just updated with certain information from the last meeting. So there's one invoice for this evening, which is the OPM's invoice, which we'll get to later in the agenda items. But the agenda is just updated information. You can see here as I scroll down, I'll get to the bottom line, which you can see on the very bottom, row 220. It's just some numbers. So
Okay.
nothing to report on the budget besides just an update.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on the budget? Okay, moving on to the project updates. Peter, you wanna move into the update on the pre-qualification?
Sure. So here, item 6A, I'll just kind of do a quick overview. I want to extend a thanks to the pre-qualification committee. We've met twice regarding the pre-qualification of the contractors, both the generals and the file submitters. We've had 2 meetings, as noted. The qualification period started September 17th. The submission deadline was October 2nd. So currently, the pre-qualification committee is underway with reviewing the proposals that have come in. We've received 120 filed subbid RFQs, requests for qualification, and 9 general contractors qualifications. I can quickly share, well, so before I get to share the screen, because I have to go in and back out, we're looking to wrap that up. We were looking to wrap that up at the end of the middle of this month, October 19th. But we have a requirement, if there's less than 3 pre-qualified file sub-bid trades, we need to go back out and re-advertise. We only received 1 RFQ, request for qualifications, in the elevator trade category. So we went back out effective next week. We've already done the advertisement. It's in the Central Register. It'll be published next Wednesday. We're gonna give them 2 weeks. That'll be due on the 30th to see what we get back for elevators. So by then we should wrap up all the other trades, but we will need to extend until the end of the month to finalize the elevator trade. If we don't receive any more than 3, then I think we can turn it back over to the general contractor to solicit and incorporate the elevator trade into his general bid as opposed to file sub. That's what it'll come down to. So we're living in within the guidelines of the procurement rules. So so that's where we are on that. I'll quickly share with you. Let me go out, sorry, and go back out and back in. The list of contractors that we have received bid proposals from. Oh, didn't do it. Sorry, one more time. Okay. Just takes a little time here. Sorry for the back and forth, but it's technology. So here is 24-page document. This is a file sub-bid listing of all the trades. These are the 120 various subcontractors that have submitted their qualifications to be approved for bidding on this project. And this is set up in numerical order by way of specification division. I'm just going to scroll through quickly, if you don't mind. I did send this to the committee members, so you have it in your package, but here's masonry. Miscellaneous metals, ornamental. There's a whole bunch of team contractors in there. I guess I could just do this. There's a little delay in my screen compared to what's being shown. In any case, you want me to keep going through all of it?
Just keep going, go pretty quickly. Just a cursory review. There's a lot of familiar names, a lot of qualified contractors. I think Joel, I think you'd agree that it's a pretty strong response from what you typically might see. So I think we still got to get through the pre-qualification, then they have to actually show up to bid, but I think it's overall, we're in a good place. And the lack of elevator respondents is, in my mind, if we have to put that to the general contractor, it's absolutely fine.
It's good news, that Nick.
No comment, but I agree with you.
I'll go back out, then I'll show the general contractors next. Yes, let me zoom out. Sorry about that. So we have 9 general contractors who have submitted their qualifications for the project. It's the general contractor. You can see the names here. And they are. The pre-qualification committee, as I said, we've met twice already. We're scheduled to meet again October 15th to review where we all are. We've divided up the various trade categories because there's 129 various proposals to review and confirm it's full, it's complete, it's responsive, and all those requirements that are there. So it'll take some time. References are one big thing that has to come in. And those references trickle in throughout the course of the first week and this week. I've already seen that 1 or 2 trades, might have had only 2 references 3 days ago. Now today they have 10 that have come in. So that's why we've given ourselves to the 15th of October to meet again, and hopefully by the 16th or 19th, we should be done, less the elevators. So it's going well. I will say thank you for allowing the process to be done online, the bid docs online. It's saved a tremendous amount of time and effort. It's well organized. It's a good system. And I think the pre-qualification committee members can certainly have a word to say tonight if they want about their experience with it and what they find beneficial if they want. But so far, we're in good shape. We should be ready for the bid period.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you to everyone on the pre-qualification subcommittee. I know that's a lot of work. It's gonna be a lot of work. We appreciate it.
Go back to the agenda.
The next item is the peer review that we've already covered.
Correct. And then on this agenda, I put in here, project updates gives an opportunity for everybody to provide some updates. So, I mean, Joel, if you want to say anything from your perspective of your team.
Yeah, in addition to the CPDC, we now have the Conservation Commission done. So all of the precursor permits are complete. Project. Then I met with Health Department. We didn't have to meet with the board, but we do have to get a certain part of the plumbing system approved. That clarified this morning. We had scheduled additional site borings for pickleball and for recal, and the contractor that was contracted for that for some reason pulled out in August, so we had to get a new excavator to come in, and that took a while. That work was done last week on site, and the report just came in this afternoon. I'll send it to John and the team, and we'll have another review with the geotechnical engineer and John, and be able to report back on that. That was the last item outstanding. As Pat mentioned, pickleball was approved. Just to see how they go together. Pickleball is now at the cost estimators. They're a little bit ahead of our project because there's no building. We're getting a cost estimate back from them, but the thought now is we will probably issue pickleball and recal at the same time as two separate projects. And we don't, it'll be completely separate contracts, but what it'll do is, you can weigh in on this, but I thought it would make sense that if the recal had the GC that was interested in that other work, it gives them the opportunity to say, hey, I'm gonna be on site doing the road work and the parking lot for recal. I can go over there and do the clearing, extend the road and do that cost effectively. Maybe they can't, but it gives everybody the opportunity to, I think, get the most competition for that project. And it sort of makes it easy to administer the two projects going together. So I think that we're in agreement on that. And yeah, the estimate would come back to the PVC on the 1st of December, which is you mentioned. So that's what I had on my update.
One question on the design. Where did we leave off with the site design and the subsurface? I know we.
Well, that's the report that I got this afternoon,
Yeah.
and I'll issue that tomorrow morning.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll have to review that and then finalize that.
Yeah, what direction? Okay. Anyone have any comments, questions for Joel on the design update? Mark?
Just one comment. So there was a brief flurry just the other day related to solar.
Yeah, I forgot.
I-
Okay,
I-
Dan, our guys, we connected with Solar, the same people that had, and we're working through that. They now think that the rebate might be available for recal that would be up to 60,000, which would be 25% or a little bit more of the projected cost of the system, which is great. So right now, solar is the add alternate on the project.
And we're set, we're building solar,
Solar
solar ready. Thank you. Yeah, okay.
But solar is the first add alternate. And then the road extension to the end of Burbank Arena is the second alternate.
Is solar ready and alternate?
No, solar ready is the base
It's the
bid.
base bid, that's right.
That meets the code requirement.
So solar ready is the base bid, and this is, we're talking about sort of the cost estimate. Look at the cost estimate that we should see plus or minus the middle of November. We'll have a chance to see a cost estimate that has solar ready in the base bid and an alternate for the solar. So we're starting to hone in on better numbers there. And between now and then, if we can, I don't know, maybe there's nothing else to nail down. We have some more clarity from RMLD. You know, we should be in a position at that next meeting, you know, in that December meeting to decide, you know, how we want to present it for the formal bid. If we include an alternate, include it in the base bid, or include an actual alternate in the bid docs, or it's not in the bid docs at all. But it kind of should time out sequence wise very well.
But I had a number one on my list, having Mark call RMLD helped to loosen up the conversation.
They're actually, so this is the, I think preferred, so that's actually panels that would supply electricity to us. There also might be a second alternative, which isn't as the second alternative, well, in a different way. Apparently, there may be an opportunity for someone else being RMLD to pay for panels to be put up. They get a capital cost and we get a piece of the essentially money for the electricity that gets generated. So we wouldn't have the capital cost at all. Right. And we would collect, the town collecting something. So I don't think it's as preferred, but you know, before we finish up, that might be something.
What's your impression as to why it might not be preferred?
So initially, what we went through was that the cost benefit didn't look in the town's favor, particularly because of the expected life of the panels and having to replace them. So there was not a lot of net savings.
Owning or?
Owning and using the generator.
Yep.
And then we kind of poked around a little bit. Now it sounds like there might be $60,000 grant money. That I assume is not federally regulated.
I laugh at the grant money.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where it comes from, but apparently, so Killam, I believe, is using it, if I understand correctly. And so there may be, it sounds like there's an opportunity for us to use it also. So that might influence the numbers enough to impact the decision.
I mean, if we don't have to have a capital outlay and we're sending all of the electricity net, what the building uses to them anyway, and there's no battery plant in it, and they're not gonna compensate us retail electricity, like. And we never have to replace those panels ever because they own them and they're, you know. It's,
We are.
well, there's the two alternatives.
Town owns them.
No, we were just talking about two alternatives.
Not the owns them or we.
Exactly. So that's what I was saying.
Same people, but. Same tax.
Well, they would argue, but, yeah, but it's like,
So it sounds like where the path we're
fair
on
enough.
is that in a month or probably in 2 months, 1 to 2 months, we should be able to put together a fairly robust financial analysis of this, so we can make a well-informed decision with all the information on the table, which is great. I appreciate Karen, I appreciate you, Mark, for taking the lead and contacting them. And I know, Karen, you've been working with
I was gonna say,
RMLD
because
behind the scenes.
staff resources, as Jane has already alluded to, managing all of this, so.
Yeah.
But it's hard to quantify that, so thank you.
Yeah,
You know, to what extent is the roof leak? By. Miles, no leaks.
shouldn't be affected. I mean, the panels are gonna be tied into the roof, so if you know,
These are mechanically anchored panels.
they're not ballasted, that's
Yeah,
correct.
so they do affect the roofing.
Yeah.
That's-
It has to be detailed inside.
Yes.
Anything else on, designer updates? Think we're good. Reading operational, I don't know, Janet, did you have any updates on the operational plan?
Sure, so we are going to the Council on Aging and the Recreation Committee. The Council on Aging is on the 20th and the Recreation Committee is on the 27th. We'll be reviewing several different policies. The three main forms that we'll be going over though are the draft membership packet, which will include general policies, the walking track policy, participation policy, standards of independence. The next document will be the fitness equipment room packet and the rentals. So those will be the three that we're gonna be focusing on to bring to the Council on Aging, and I'm hoping to get some of those documents out tomorrow so they can mull it over for a couple weeks instead of just 1 week prior to the meeting. So yeah, we're looking forward to presenting the information and getting it going. There are several other forms and policies that we're gonna have to work on behind the scenes too. And if anyone has a particular interest in those forms, we'll be presenting those in the meetings too, just to tell them what they are. And if anyone has an interest, they can help us behind the scenes as well. So it's going great.
Thank you.
Does any of the, whatever you're going through, does that affect in any way the design of the building?
Good answer.
The building is designed based on
Sure it is.
all of the feasibility, yeah.
Thank you.
All the feasibility study went over all the programming that we needed, so we feel confident that the operations plan is gonna support the design of the building. So,
Excellent, thank you, Jenna. Does anyone have any other comments or questions for Jenna on the operation? Just moving through the agenda. I don't think we have anything under contracts, change orders, amendments. No previous business for follow-up. I don't know if anyone has any new business they want to bring up. You gotta work on the formatting of this agenda, Peter. This is my bad. I didn't review it as closely as I thought. Moving on to general project discussion. I don't know if there's any updates, project outreach, information on the website from town staff. Jane, Jenna.
Jay, anything?
No, we haven't done anything recently. We need to put some meeting minutes up on the webpage. I was just looking at the webpage today. All our video and our tax calculator is still up there. We're paying $25 a month to keep the tax calculator going because we still get visitors to that. And we're not going out to bond until January. And so we want to give lots of time for people to continue to interact with the tax calculator, which is
I
great.
definitely think we should keep that up for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, I think so too. And it may be up for the duration of the project. We also get a lot of interest in it from other communities. So, so it's a neat tool. So yeah, we need to do a little bit more about pushing some information out. I think when we're ready with maybe the new pricing, we should do maybe a small press release. I could share it with our media partners. We could do a more complete update at a select board meeting that would be newsworthy and give that information out again to our media partners as part of an opportunity for an update. But I'm open to anything the board has, or if there's specific things that people would like to see populated there. I think as the operations plan starts to solidify and we have kind of a complete first draft, we can put that up as a first draft and solicit comments as well.
Mark?
Jane, are you thinking of having some kind of status updates and starting to, once we have it, to start
Right.
showing progress, activities, maybe even starting to, highlight different things that are gonna be there, make it more of a
Well,
featured based activity?
that's a neat idea. One thing I want to do, and I don't know what the appetite of the board is, but I'd say this every opportunity I get. I'd like to have a camera mounted so we can do periodic releases of sort of the site progress. With like a little video of still photos over time or whatever the recommendation is.
Yeah.
I
The
think
drone
that's,
unit's on board, Jane, with that.
oh, good. Okay. Thank you,
Got
Jenna.
approval.
Good. So yeah, we talked with Jenna spoke with a drone unit, the police department, and they will take it on for periodic updates, which I think will be kind of nice. We can do it in-house. And I think Pat talked a little bit about where we could put some cameras and so forth. So
Yeah, I think it'll make sense during construction. And I think it would make more sense for the town to just do it rather than put it in the spec for the contractor.
Yep.
It may want to be something in the specification, sort of alerting the contractor that that's gonna happen.
yeah,
So we don't get any objections after the fact.
right. There'll be a camera on site.
Yeah.
And
And we will limit access to that camera.
Of course. Yeah, so I think that, Mark, will be kind of an interesting piece as well. But yes, we can do, small social media updates. There's not a lot that's I think is totally newsworthy right now, but I'm too close to it, so I'm entirely open to suggestion.
So I think not just newsworthy, I think update and outreach. So particularly when taxes are gonna be impacted,
Yep,
I think it's very important to show where we are, progress is being made, and talk about estimated occupancy dates to some extent, but to kind of let people understand that you got the tax calculator, but no one's feeling it yet. But when they do,
Right.
I think they got to see that it's coming up,
really
coming
happening.
around and really going.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. In the interim, I mean, we could put something out saying where we are in the design world, and what this means. And then I think the fact that we're planning to send recal out to bid in December is also, certainly worthy of sharing.
Yeah, I think maybe some of those milestones we talked about, if those hit the
Yeah.
website in some form in the next month or so, would be useful information for everyone.
Yeah, we can craft that and have that up next week. It's no big deal.
I directed a resident to the tax calculator a few hours ago.
There, see?
The conversation went something like, where are you going? We're building, which resulted in, we're building a new senior center. To how much is that gonna cost me to go to the website?
And if you don't know your assessment, it's right there. You can look it up right there. It's a great tool. So, yeah.
Can I ask, when does this board think might be good to update the select board? And Jane, when do you think the select board would like to hear from this board? Matt, I think
I will-
it's a few updates. It's not just one and done. Obviously, it's kind of, here's where we are. When might be a good time to share that? I mean,
There's always there's always a good time. I would defer, I believe, Ms. Herrick is in the room, so I would defer to her, whatever she wants. But
Yeah, I would defer to when the select board wants to hear from us.
Yeah.
You guys are like, yeah, all this stuff, like you got a major deliverable coming up in December and November, so that sounds reasonable to me.
I think just an interim report at the next meeting, I can do it as part of my
My
comments.
head's already spinning because CPA is gonna need to use that calculator, so don't let that subscription lapse, and can we have two sites going at once?
Oh, yeah, no, when we get to that, we can add that on. That's just, it's the company that does it can just do it for us. It's no big deal. Yep.
Awesome,
Yeah, it's really cool.
great meeting, good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else on the sort of outreach? Segueing to the next section, town meeting presentation. There's a little back and forth with Matt and myself and Alan Folds about sort of whether town meeting wants to hear from us and in what form. And Alan, I think would prefer a written update as opposed to a presentation in the spirit of, keeping town meeting to a reasonable timetable. So sometime, and Jane, maybe you can clue me into when we need that as a deadline. I'll probably draft something up, blind copy the committee. But it'll be short and sweet, where we are, what the milestones are, and where we're on schedule and under budget is the short and sweet message. Unless someone else wants to draft it,
For
wants to
April,
volunteer.
not November, April.
For November.
Oh, I thought you just said January. Okay.
I'm sorry. I may have said January. I do that sometimes.
I,
Yeah.
I make
No,
mistakes
it's- no,
all
it's
the
okay.
time.
I mean, obviously you have even more in April.
Pat, I thought Alan didn't want to have an update. Am I making that up?
That might be correct. I thought he didn't want a presentation of
Oh,
verbal
yeah.
update. And I
Yeah.
thought he wanted a written, and if the time has passed to do that, that's fine too. I thought town meeting would be interested to just hear some very basics on the project. And I'm more than happy to give someone a paragraph that can get stuck in the warrant or
warrant
whatever, wherever
report.
it goes. that,
Yeah, if you could have a paragraph, I think that would be interesting. We could submit that. That's gonna have to go to print, probably in a week or two.
Okay.
So Alan was like, I've been trying to limit verbal reports at town meeting. The sessions go faster and it wants to keep the business that's in the warrant.
Yeah.
Of course, I just checked his email. So, we can go back and just make sure that Alan's comfortable with that, but, we always can put something in the warrant, or we can hand out something as well to folks.
Yeah, I don't have an overwhelming desire to go talk to town meeting. It's more.
Are you gonna be there anyway? I'm like, you gotta.
It's more about if, what do people want to hear? If the town meeting wants a quick update on the two projects, I would think.
Yeah,
How about some good news, like costs have not spiraled out of control?
Yeah.
I mean.
Are you knocking on wood?
news.
Knock on wood when you say that.
Well, it's as of that moment when you deliver the report.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable, but we can get something into the warrant report. I'll double check with Jackie on that, Laverty, because she's responsible for putting that out. And then there's going to be a special town meeting inside town meeting. Just on the
We're not doing any more projects.
no, gosh, no, bite your
Didn't get the
tongue.
memo?
Now
What
it's
can we do with the
about
cemetery building? Is that a problem?
right. That does need to happen. No, I think it's not the senior tax, it's a senior tax work-off program. Jen, am I getting that right? It's from the assessor's office. So that's happening as well. So that's coming back before the select board on October 21st. Actually, it's not the work-off program, it's the senior tax relief program.
Circuit
So
breaker.
Okay.
circuit breaker, yeah, thank you. So I wasn't
Okay.
planning on talking about it tonight. Oh yeah. We
Okay.
can have something for that. And then when Springtown meeting comes around, when they're definitely going to want an update, we will have broken ground. When are we breaking ground on this project?
We will have broken ground at
Yeah,
that
okay.
time, if all things go according to plan.
Yeah,
So,
okay. All right.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll plan on a short written information on for town meeting. Okay, moving on, project meetings upcoming. But we've got you'd mentioned, Peter, the pre-qualification meeting. Our next meeting is November 5th. And then December 3rd are the next two meetings. I don't know if we need to talk at all about meetings with the town departments. We kind of covered that before. We're planning, we've gone through detailed review with all the town departments on the design. And we plan to do a page turn with them heading into the final documents. And the next item on the agenda is the project invoices, which we have one invoice from Turner and Townsend Erie.
That's the breakdown on the screen now.
Okay. So did this go to the financial committee ahead of time?
Yes.
Did I get feedback?
Alright. So, does anyone on the financial committee want to take the lead on tell us what you think of this invoice? And maybe making a motion? I'll turn to you, Mike, since you're in the room.
Motion to approve, their invoice. Turn it TTH invoice, I don't know what number it is.
Invoice number is there.
That's a crazy invoice number, but anyway. Motion to approve TTH invoice PJ IN 00450446 for 27,041.
Okay,
Second.
any questions or any further discussion?
Just to the finance committee, was there any questions that were brought up, or that seemed kind of?
No,
I looked at it too. It's
there's
fine.
no.
Pretty straightforward.
It's nothing out of the ordinary.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Go to a vote. Nancy Toomey,
Yes.
John Coot,
Yes.
Mark Doxer,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick. So yes, Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes, motion passes. Just moving on, I don't think we have any other business not reasonably anticipated. We covered the next meeting dates. We moved public comment to the end of the agenda. I don't know if there's any public comment. I don't see any in the room. Is there any online? Moving on to item 8.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Nancy Toomey,
Yes.
John Coot,
Yes.
Mark Doxer,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick, Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes, motion passes. 1 hour and
Good
3
night.
minutes.
Nicely done, Mr. Chairman. Have a
Good
good
night,
night.
everyone. Thank you.